Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon for this session. My name's Jenny Sims and I'm the Programme Manager for the Education and Training section of the college. And for those of you who actually are watching this recording later, you're equally welcome. I hope today to be able to cover lots of different aspects of what's involved in the courses that we run, and most importantly about the next steps if you're wanting to enrol on the courses. I also wanted to give you the opportunity to be able to ask any questions. So my colleague Chrissy is manning the chat box. She's going to be very, very able to answer any questions, and anything that she wants me to answer, I will answer at the end of the presentation. So don't hesitate to put any questions in there. And I've also asked Chrissy to put my email address in there. So if you think about anything as you're thinking, oh, I'd actually like me to contact you, I'm very, very happy to contact you via email after the presentation is finished. So do please take the advantage to ask questions, however trivial they are. It's really important to ask them, because particularly in these circumstances at the moment where we're working online, it's very important that you get the opportunity to find out as much as you can before we actually start enrolling. Okay, so let's make a start. As I've explained to you, I'm very, very happy to have the opportunity to share these things with you. We actually offer 3 different types of products under the Education and Training section. One of them is about the teaching of English as a foreign language, and that's for those that are called the CELTA course. We also offer a course to prepare students to teach in colleges such as Richmond, but in other further education training organisations. And those courses are absolutely specifically designed for working with adults. And we also offer a course that's to help you qualify as an assessor for vocational courses and for being an internal verifier. So 3 completely different types of products. What you will see, though, that is standard amongst all the 3 areas is each course has a very small number of learners, and that's to give everybody the maximum opportunity, because any form of education and training course involves a lot of discussion, a lot of working together. So it's very important that the course sizes are not big. So you won't see course sizes of more than about a dozen people on the course. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit through about the entry qualifications, because obviously each of those courses do have specific entry requirements. If you wanted to be on the course to teach English as a foreign language, it's certainly clear that you need to have a degree or a qualification in English at level 3 or above. Or if you've got the IELTS, 7 is the basic qualification. So that's in order to make sure that you have sufficient language expertise, grammatical understanding, that you can cope with the theory side of the course. If you're teaching English as a foreign language, you have to be secure in your knowledge of why you use apostrophes, why you use grammar the way you do. It's not just that you by haphazard means are using it, it's knowing why. If you're hoping to become on the qualified assessor, you must have a vocational qualification and current experience, again at level 3 and above. The reason why we say level 3 is because that's the equivalent of an A level. So a vocational qualification, example, it could be childcare, something of that nature. The award in education and training is the 3rd type of product that we offer, and that's a qualification that enables you to teach in further and adult education. It does not qualify you for teaching in schools, unless you're looking at the 6th form of a school, post-16. So it qualifies you to teach at post-16, but again, in order to study on this course, you do need to have a qualification or expertise in a particular subject at level 3 and above. Now, clearly, that's important because, again, if you're hoping to teach people, you must always have a qualification at higher level than the one that you're actually teaching to the students. And that's important. Now, each of the qualifications that we've highlighted here are going to be requiring students from September to compile electronic portfolios. It's not just because of the current crisis, it's something that we'd actually already planned before in Richmond, that increasingly now we want to move away from everything being collected as paper-based. So students will have their own electronic portfolios that they can access together with their tutor. It means that at all times, you'll know where you are on the course, you'll know what your progress is, you'll know what you've had accredited, you'll know also what you've still got to do. It does mean that one of the entry requirements for that is that you need to have competence at IT level. And to be honest, if you're going to be any form of teacher now, you absolutely need to be competent in your use of IT. So in a sense, the course is again preparing you for real work at the end. You need to make sure that you've got access to a computer with a webcam and a microphone. So those are entry requirements, and I think it's important to identify their specific qualifications for the courses as well as the general one about IT. Again, you will find that if you actually lack the qualifications and you still want to go forward that path, then talk to us via our IAG section about how you can actually get the qualifications to achieve the entry requirements. Yeah, it's never a no, there's a full stop, you can't do. It's always a question of saying, okay, if that's where you really want to go, but you haven't got the entry requirements at the moment, there's a way to get there. So talk to us and we can take it further. Just a little bit here about the qualification for the CELTA. It's highly valued in the industry. Absolutely, it's the industry standard qualification for teaching English as a foreign language. And you will find that it's taught by professional, very knowledgeable trainers, and they're absolute specialists. They're accredited by Cambridge and they have been a long time doing that qualification. So you be very confident that you're in good hands there. And it's very interesting. I've had the pleasure of seeing teachers who have been taught by those tutors, and you can see how well they've been taught. The course offers tutorials, so as well as observations and feedback. And you will find that you are being required on the course to produce the essential things like lesson plans, provide resources. So you will learn on the course how you have to be as a teacher. One of the great things about the CELTA qualification is it's not a theoretical qualification. It actually involves you having to do practice. So the whole concept of teaching practice is that you put into practice, and you have to make sure you can spell practice, you have to put into practice exactly what you're learning on the course. So you have to make sure that you're attending the weekly course meetings, unless there's some exceptional circumstance, but it is a requirement so that you can actually gain all the information possible. It's an intensive course. There's a lot involved in it because at the end of the course, you are qualified to teach English as a foreign language. Coursework is produced by students. It's marked by the college tutors, and then it'll be externally moderated by Cambridge. So you don't sit a formal exam, but you do have to make sure that you achieve the incredibly exacting standards that Cambridge set. So that's the CELTA qualification. If you're looking at the award in education and training, it's a level 3 accredited course. It is again the industry standard qualification. It's offered by different award bodies, and we offer it by TQ UK, and I always have trouble saying that one. It's a recognised award body, and it's based on the same specifications that all award bodies offer. So you'll find that it's offered by City and Guilds, by OCR, by Pearson. We just happen to work with TQ UK. I don't know, I have to say that again because I do find that one difficult. So it's industry standard. Again, the good idea of this is you actually are looking at theories of learning. One of the important things about being a teacher is the ability to reflect on why does something work. And this gives you a really introductory, it starts from the beginnings to say, why do we do what we do? What are the theories of learning? And you discuss in the weekly mandatory classes how the theory is embedded in good practice. So you learn what works, what the barriers are to learning, how you can start to remove them. Again, the course is taught by an extremely experienced teacher who teaches lots of different award courses in the college. She doesn't just teach on this course, she teaches other courses, including Access. There's no formal exams again, but you have to produce a portfolio of work, some of which is practical, including the lesson plan preparation and a resource that you create. And the final assignment is one that's really important because it's what we call micro teaching, where you actually have to teach your own peers on the course for a certain period of time, and you're assessed by your peers as well as the tutor. So it's quite a stretching and exacting course. Again, there's no formal exam that you have to sit. Again, it's actually marked by the college, and we have the award body actually come in and check the standards. So that's the award in education and training. The last product is the assessor and verifier qualifications. And again, industry standard qualifications provided according to the specifications that all the award body uses. So if you were to do the assessor qualifications with City and Guilds, OCR, Pearson, any of the others, they're all using exactly the same specifications as the assessor and verifier qualifications that we use. And it's really important to recognise that. So it doesn't matter where you study these qualifications, they are to the same specifications. To be a qualified assessor means that you can gain work as an assessor, and these courses are actually very practical courses. Yes, you learn about the theory of ensuring that the evidence that you assess is accurate and it's current, and you do learn to make sure that you are good at judging whether the evidence that a candidate performs and produces matches the criteria that they need to do in order to be an accredited person. So the course is again an exacting course. It's a level 3 and level 4 equivalence, which doesn't mean to say that it's worth an A level. It's at the same level as. The course is taught by blended learning, meaning that most of the course is managed online with just a few classroom face-to-face sessions to back that up. You'll find that the task set are real assessments made on student evidence, and that's why you have to have vocational experience yourself in order to study on the qualification. No formal exams, it's all portfolio assessed, so the college then has the award body come to check the quality of what we produce. So again, very stretching, but no formal exams. I've mentioned already that these are industry standard qualifications, and that means that achievement on any of these qualifications enables students to apply for work as a result of being successful. If you actually complete the CELTA, then you can actually apply for post-teaching English, ESOL, English as a second language, in colleges and other training providers. Many of our own ESOL tutors have actually got work following the same route. And it's really nice to see people who've actually done the CELTA, then 2 or 3 years later are actually teaching and very happily providing for their own students. Anyone who's actually gained the assessor and verifier qualifications again can actually apply for work in colleges and training providers, and there are always adverts in various further education colleges and training providers wanting people as part-time assessors, part-time verifiers. It's a responsible role because you are checking the qualification that somebody has provided and produced, and so that they themselves can gain the award. If you go on to successfully complete the award in education and training, then you can actually apply to colleges such as RAC and other training providers to gain hours teaching. So it directly leads you on to gain hours in teaching. And then you can progress on from that. If you have enough teaching hours, you can actually move on to the full diploma, which at level 5 is the final qualification that is regarded as being the equivalent of the postgraduate qualification. And again, that's the qualification that employers want. But we ourselves in RAC do employ people with the award, so you can actually gain employment at that basic level. You'll obviously notice that life is not the same as normal at college at the moment. Life is not the same as normal anywhere in the world at the moment. And the courses will be taught initially online. We've made the decision that coming back in September, face-to-face is going to take a while. We do hope, obviously, that we will be back to face-to-face teaching. That will very much apply as soon as we're able to move back to face-to-face teaching. The CELTA course will actually come back to being face-to-face. The assessor and verifier qualifications will remain blended learning, so they are always intended to be in that nature. If the award in education training, what we've already discussed, that will start online. And again, once we're back to face-to-face teaching, you'll be able to go back into that and to continue as normal. But what we have already done, we've already done risk assessments. We've already done a huge amount of work in the college about making sure that it is actually safe for students when we're allowed to actually allow students back in to the campus. And you'll see that we've actually thought about all the various exits and entrances, how far people can be next to each other, the cleaning of the equipment, the whole building has been deep cleaned. So a huge amount of thought has already gone into how we're actually going to manage the face-to-face, because the crucial part is about making sure that safety is first and that your safety and our staff safety is paramount. I'm really, really hoping that as a result of just some of the information I've shared with you today, I'm really hoping that some of you and all of you decide that you're going to take this interest further. Delighted to be able to give more information to anybody who's got further questions. My colleague who runs the CELTA has already got a remote online taster session on the 20th of July. So if you're interested in that, again, as it gives you the information there, please book on to that. You will find for the CELTA course there's a pre-interview task that you feel that you actually complete, and then an interview before you can be accepted. Most of the qualification courses that we offer in the education training will require a task and then an interview. We need to do that to make sure that you're not being recruited onto a course when you can't manage the course, and that's something that's very important. If you're approved, then you'll have an acceptance letter, and then you'll be able to go online, and then you can actually pay the fee, and you can actually talk to anybody in our learning support department in terms of further things that you're going to need. So the next steps will involve applying to the college, and then you'll be into the system and you'll have an interview. Okay. Now, obviously at this stage, I'm not sure if there are any questions that have been managed by Chrissy. Anything else that anybody wants to ask about? Perhaps I should just move over to Chrissy at this stage and say, have we got any questions, Chrissy, that we would need to answer?
Hi Jenny, thank you very much. That's great. No questions in at the moment. I think we'll give our team minutes to send through some questions if they have them. If not, we'll wrap up. Thank you.
That's lovely. So we'll just wait and see if there's any more questions. There's a lot of information to take in, and I recognise that, and that's why I think it's important that if I haven't been able to answer your question at this stage, that you do put something into the chat box, or that you actually get my email address. I think, Chrissy, you put in the chat box already, haven't you? Then make absolutely sure that you email me, and I'll be delighted to follow up with you.
Okay, Jenny, it looks like you've covered everything. Like you said, if people do have following up questions, I have placed your email in the chat box, so they're more than welcome to contact you. But yeah, if you'd like to wrap up, please. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.